Hello, everybody. It is Saturday night, and we are going to do our last 10 nights of color. And I want to do something that I've been wanting to tackle. It's the Basil GoGos Frankenstein. You might have seen that on the image. And let me get my shout outs done so I can hand comments over to the wife. And boy, all right. Realms will be your nightmare. John C. Crits, Larry Hughes, Jennifer Pew Pew Pew. Realms. I said you already. You don't get two. Sons of Wayne, Mike Cherzenowski, Scott Coiner, Ron Sheps, Cat Swift, Susan Atai, Lindsay and Michael Kyle. Like of Thor 2006, Jamie Baxton, Ella's Fire, Aqua Cave Creations, good to see you back. I See Monsters, Glenn McCain, good to see you on. Baba Daza, who lost all faith. She said she lost all faith in me, or you lost all respect for me after the evening of fun. That was actually kind of silly. And you know what? I actually salvaged one of those hands, but I digress. Chad Smith, Mrs. CB, Big Ink Studios, Stricken Ghoul, Mike Vacha, Stacy Hawkins, hooray, we're moderated. Ron Sheps, Ken Lecce Zarish, Lanny Williams, and Shannon Hobbs. That's my wife. I kiss her. All right, so let me adjust my picture up because I have a visual reference up here right now.
The Kyle family. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, we are rested up.
We are mostly rested up.
Okay. I'm choosing positivity. Who was it who was checking on it? Cat Swift. Cat, you're such a good den mother.
We're gonna hit
top chat or live chat? Live chat, madam.
She's doing it, so yes, maybe I screwed up.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Now I'm getting her the thingamajig that does the buttonings. Which this device is a little bit complicated.
Look at this.
For you. All right, so honey, I'm going to slide you this way a little bit so you're closer to the mic, as you are well known for your quietness.
Aww. That's so sweet.
In some circles. Oh, okay. Our little Ozbot has decided not to go on strike this evening. That's lovely. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much ready to start working. Wife, would you go to Pip? We can see what Pip looks like. Actually, I want to move. No, I don't. I'll leave it. It's fine. Things are fine. I just have to make sure that I can see what's going on the monitor.
Hey. Papa Dog says Cat Swift is a good den mother. She is. She's always like, have you...
Oh, she keeps me on my toes.
She does. She's always watching you. Have you got the air scrubbers on? Where are your gloves?
It's good. She wants me to live.
She does.
Can't say that on everybody.
She does.
All right, so just so you guys know, the prep that I did on this, the prep that's already been done, is that this is a trick-or-treat Frankenstein mask. I finally got it in the mail like 2 or 3 days ago, and it was already painted. I cleaned it. I cleaned it off with mineral spirits, and then let that dry. I hit it with white in the airbrush. I whited it out a little bit so that my colors pop. And I taped back the hair because the hair was already black. And I thought that their hair job wasn't any worse than what I would do to it. So I thought I could leave it alone. There you go.
But you already based him out.
I based them out in white to make sure that the inks and stuff I put on now are going to pop well.
So, Basil
Yeah, Basil GoGos.
find out.
But I do need to, I want to cut this mouth out because they have zero breathing in the mouth. I was going to say very little, but zero is far more accurate.
So I wanted to find some kind of a page that showed some of the Basil GoGos. I think I found it. A good.
Well, if you hit 10 nights of color on the button, hit the 10 nights of. Well, wait, is there a button for 10 nights of color?
No.
There isn't.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna
Okay.
I'm just gonna put a link so people who are not familiar with Basil GoGos will see. This is a
Okay.
good link.
That's a
And
good
then
link.
This will give you guys when we're talking about the way that this looks. If you remember the Halloween Gravedigger and very dramatic lighting and color on him, it's a very unique look. So I'm gonna put up a link to just kind of give you an idea of where this is going, because at some point you're going to say, what is he doing? And then it will make a lot more sense when you see this style.
It'll make a little more sense. I think that this style of art from Basil GoGos is one of the things that really got me into monsters. These are just so, this really helped bridge the gap for a young Alan to change from these black and white monsters. They can be in my world too. They can be in full color. Just this style of art I thought was kind of incredible. So I'm looking at, wife, why don't you go solely to phone cam right now? I'm looking at this guy. Okay, here's my big reference I put up on the screen. And if you look, there we go, get that glare out of there a little bit. The different colors, it kind of represents different colored light. So there's red that's hitting from this direction. There's blue that's obviously coming kind of from down. Slightly different angle, there's a lot of yellow that's hitting the forehead. And there's green that's either him or it's light, because in the shadow of his nose, it's green. There is also this beautiful green. So I'm going to do that with inks, and I'm going to use the single action airbrush. And then I'll go back over and I'll do all this little line work with the airbrush and black to really pop this guy.
Christina McDaniel says, it's so refreshing to watch something other than ridiculous walkthrough of a Halloween store. The kids aren't happy unless they are watching something related to Halloween.
Well, that's very nice.
This is Halloween art.
I'm glad they enjoy it, yo. Let's go back to Pip. I just want to set Pip up correctly.
Okay, so that's giving them an idea of the style that
Yeah. And the real hero is going to be this airbrush right here, which is what I based him out in, which is why he still has white.
Barbara Saletti says, famous monster mag was one of my favorite reading material. Great art and articles.
I agree with you. Yes,
Realm-
I loved it.
Realm says, I made homemade pizza dough and sauce, and we had our own one personal pizza tonight. It was well worth the 1 hour and a half to make it all. Realms, that's awesome.
Ozbot, Realms, that is awesome.
That is awesome. I love that you cooked and did that.
Yes.
Hey.
A dude who can cook is a dude who can get the ladies. How that works.
Realms is only 17. We're not gonna. He doesn't.
Eventually, he's gonna want to get the ladies.
Not letting him do that yet.
Or the dudes. Dudes also like dudes who can cook. Whatever you're into is fine. Just cooking is a bonus.
Ken Zarich says it's good looking. Frankenstein is my favorite classic.
I'm trying to. What did I come over here for?
Cat Swift, Trick or Treat Studios. I'm trying to catch up, you guys. Trick or Treat Studios made the mask.
Yes.
And then Alan has based it out in a white. And that's what, so he's going to change it a bit here. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Stacy's already on it. Why do I bother?
Why do you bother more?
I don't know.
Because you're helpful and you're awesome.
Hey, Baba Dazza, I'll keep an eye out for it. I don't think anything came today. Chad says, wow, the audio on my laptop is very low tonight. I'm going to have to head to the office.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know what, though? I'm further away right now. Shannon's actually kind of close, but I'm further away. So I should speak up with my announcer voice.
Big Ink Studio. Hello.
Big Ink Studio. John
C. says, the mask has a long scar or a cut on his left jaw or neck. Was that seen in the movie?
There's obviously been several Frankenstein movies, and that was a part in some of them. This is a licensed mask, so Universal did approve the sculpture. I would assume it's actually pretty good. Alexa, add black airbrushes to my shopping list.
Black airbrushes added.
You did add shot towels.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alan, you're painting him like the light is lighting him up in the picture. How do you know that will translate in a mask, if that makes sense? That's what it does.
We don't ever know. That's why we try new things. The other night, when I was trying to make hand molds out of the latex and the vinegar, I didn't know. But now, there are surefire ways that I could have done that. And I think Cripps mentioned alginate, a couple other folks mentioned alginate. Those are surefire ways of doing that. A lot of what I do is looking for different, cheaper ways of doing things, or more accessible ways of doing things. So, but image-wise, visually, if it can look that way in 2D, then I should be able to paint it that way in 3D. The only stuff that doesn't work for is like MC Escher stuff, where it's possible on paper, but not in person.
Jennifer Pugh says, my timer just went off for my dinner in the oven, but there's a cat sleeping on my lap, so dinner is going to be burnt.
It's gonna burn. Yeah, it's just gonna burn now. That's how that works.
That is so true. You gotta, whatever. So Ozbot is working. I'm so proud.
Ozbot is working. He's working his little heart off.
Well, I'm just glad he's working.
And I'm mixing up. I'm incorporating right now.
Realm says, thanks. I love to cook and bake.
Awesome.
Realms.
That's a great skill.
I love hearing this.
I've also found that a lot of the creativity of just making things in general transfers to the kitchen pretty easy. I enjoy cooking and that kind of stuff. I just don't normally have to because my wife is amazing at it and enjoys it also. And there's so many things that I enjoy doing, you know, I might as well fall over dead tired and allow her to enjoy that.
Baba Daza says, no, I know. I love the experiment. I was totally kidding. But yeah, okay, you're right. That makes sense. I love the concept. Talking about how will this translate over. You've got, what have you got in your beard?
What did I already get on my beard?
It looks like cottage cheese.
Oh, I had the foam head. Yeah, it's styrofoam. It's all over.
Jordan Easel, hello.
And I'm looking at my reference and I'm picking out the colors that I need.
Stacy says, this is me and Tony. He is such a good cook.
Yeah. See, it'll get you the latest.
Chad said, Edson Juice, hello. He says, is it just me or is the audio a little lower than normal? You need to check are we okay up here? Are we on?
We're obviously we're on. Right now the Yeti is turned actually all the way up on here. It is all the way up. Now let me try something. Okay, I'm going to turn up the output gain a little bit. Let's see how that does. How is that? That, in theory, should have done something. Let us know if that did anything. And say the word avocado. Avocado, yes, it's a little better. Avocado, it's exactly the same. Okay.
Man, much better audio, much better. Found it, much better. Potato, no, sons of Queen. Pineapple, great. It's giving you different
It's gotta be avocado. Now I think you're
sounded way up. Avocado, great. Avocado, better. Avocado, made it louder.
Okay, I don't know.
You're good.
I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad we fixed it.
Jeff Bull says, good evening. I love Frankenstein's monster. That was the first life-size prop that I made 30 years plus ago when I moved to my new house.
Awesome. Frankenstein is probably my second favorite behind the Wolfman, of course. And Creature from the Black Lagoon is pretty close up there as well.
Lindsay and Michael Kyle says, I may or may not have dislocated my shoulder trying to reach my alarm without disturbing my 20-year-old cat once. Hey, you're my kind of people.
Awesome.
Chad Smith, Alan, I need to order heads for the show. I know you said to order them from Amazon. Have you ever ordered heads from Wish?
Yeah, you might not get them in time for the show. That's the problem. If you order them in April for the show that is in March, you'll probably get them on time, but you can't guarantee it. And then you're out the money, and then you might not have them. You got to buy them from Amazon anyway.
Realms says, I made cinnamon rolls last week, and they were gone in 4 days.
They were at my house. They've been gone in 1 day.
Okay, so yeah, you fixed the sound. Pops on the tube. I really enjoyed the most recent Patreon live. I had to watch a non-live. Thank you for sharing.
You know what? Patreon people are going to see a lot more of that simply because I'm going to be at work more. So you are going to see a little more in the live department on Patreon. Sadly, my schedule is still not to the point where I can do a lot more edited content than I'm already doing. My editing hours is pretty much taken up. So there won't be any more editing stuff happening than I'm already doing, but I can do more lives with work stuff, which I think you guys will find interesting. Okay, so I don't have an orange anymore. I don't have tangerine orange. I don't know where it is, what happened to it. It's gone.
Is that the color from our stash? Our paints? Our latex paints?
No.
Oh, it's an ink.
These are inks,
Oh.
yeah. I'm going to make orange by mixing yellow and...
Babadada says, I ate a raw potato once. It says, thank you for sharing the mural. That was awesome. I still haven't had a chance to see
Well, you guys are going to see more of that.
You know, guys, I think that something fun I'd like us to do also is, should the world have a bit of normalcy that allows us to travel again,
No.
when we go to actor training at different haunts, that would be a lot of fun to be able to show you some of the work that we do when we're training actors and working on different shows. A little sneaky peek. That's fun. Craig, hello. So I finally found the new channel through Lives Were Kaput. I thought Lives Were Kaput. Craig, welcome. You get a Beast Man fist bump.
Correct.
Craig.
Correct. Which Craig?
I don't know. It just says Craig.
Just says Craig.
The
Good
Craig.
job.
Like Cher.
You snagged the first
You're
Craig
just
name
Craig.
on the YouTubes. All right,
Chad
you go to
says-
Pip now.
I would love DH Patreon videos to help me with my haunt. Dark Hour Patreon videos.
Cool. Yeah, awesome. They might. We have a lot of work to do. So you're going to see a lot of work from Mr. Hops. And
Get a chance. You should show them your Wolfman you made today.
oh, okay. My wife wants me to show you some.
I think you need to show this real
I'm
quick.
going to grab it. So I'm leaving. I'm walking away from Pip. So now look at those audio cues. Come over here.
All right, you.
And I guess I'll head towards Odd's Butt.
So
My friend Wes sent me a little werewolf figure, apparently from some kids show on Netflix, and I very quickly customized him to look. To look meaner. It's so dark over here.
Why don't you put him on tripod cam? Yeah, it's too dark.
Okay, go to phone cam.
Phone cam. Thanks, Kat.
So I customized him to have an angrier brow, and I gave him some cheekbones.
And some sweet, sweet t-shirt.
And I made him a little Stupid Studio shirt. So this is a little werewolf.
That is so ridiculous cute.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of fun.
Oh my god.
Okay, I walked away from that. I'm feeling free to move out the cabin.
Move about the cabin. Oh my god, that's fun. So yeah.
Wes is a friend who just sends me things sometimes. I have been sent some awesome things. Oh, would you hit Pip for me? I gotta line up El Pippo.
That's just so dang cute. Stacy's like, oh my god, I love him!
My friend Ryan, who was on here sometimes, he sent an amazing Beastman print that when I get it over here, I'll show you. Sometimes I enjoy them at my house before I bring them over here.
It's like Al Matra sent you a couple of prints of his art.
Yes, and they lived in the kitchen for a long time.
For a long time, all through pre-Halloween and Halloween, and then through Thanksgiving. We kept him up there because we loved him so much. And we just enjoyed it. It was so cute. Okay, let me try and do a little catch up here. Hey, Dirty Santa.
Hello, Dirty Santa.
Jordan Easel says, one time I wanted to know about a bust of an avian dragon head, and you mistakenly revealed your boob size. You wear a bra?
What?
Jordan,
Jordan, what are you talking about?
Jordan. Jordan, I've lost you. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know who you're talking to.
Was that us?
I don't think I've ever worn a... Well, I wore a pair of boobs once when I played a hag. And the best way to make crazy pendulous breast is you take a pair of like stockings, like ladies' stockings, and then get a bigger size because you don't want to kill yourself. And then stuff them with whatever you want the boobs to be made out of down into the feet. And then you put the waistband here and you flip the legs over and tuck them into the waistband. And that way you can control your boob height, which is very important for a stilt walker. Yes, when I was playing that hag character, I would kind of reverse motorboat, like people would take a picture with me, and I would lean down and go duh, and get them. Yeah, good times.
Fieldwalker Mask says hello.
But no, I don't wear a bra.
Rebecca says, I love that Wolfie. Ellis Fire says, I love him. Chad Smith says, I just thought of a birthday gift for you. If it's not crazy expensive, I'm looking into it.
Okay.
Unknown Origin FX. Any tips on selling on Teespring? I'm trying to sell merchandise to benefit homeless vets.
Well, people have to see it. I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but people have to see that merchandise. So it's great that it's on Teespring, but how are you sending people to Teespring? I send people to Teespring via my YouTube channel and via these lives. So that's how I get people to go there. You have to have a way to get people to go there.
Pops on the tubes. Shannon, next story time. What thing Alan keeps in the house that should be in the shop? Dirty Santa says, are you going to do anything with the eyes?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to get paint all over them, so I'll have to repaint the eyes. And I'm going to do a lot of line work in black afterwards, so that's coming. Here's what's important. I want to come at this from one side. Light is directional. So I don't want to move this airbrush around a lot. I only want this green to hit the stuff that the green would hit. I can move this way because I'm going to go a little bit this way. There we go. And yes, I'm going to have to turn this filter on. That may do some crazy stuff. The ink is such finer droplets, it tends to hang out in the air a lot more.
Hair scrubber.
Okay, now matching this up, and I don't know if maybe this one would be able to see the TV also if I did this. And then you can see my reference and what I'm working on. Yeah. All right. But now, can you kind of see that that looks a little bit like a green light hitting from this direction? And now I've got red I've got to do from this side. There's a red light that hits right here. Doesn't go very far around.
Did you get the bust of Boris Karloff's head for Adam? Okay, Jordan, we're working.
Yeah,
That's it.
you're not making a lot of sense to us. When you're typing, please use more words.
You're making me work.
You're asking about my bra size. If that's something that I was offended over, I might be a little bit pissed. You're lucky I'm not. But come on, dude. Be with us.
You're new.
You want to talk about what we're doing? Great. If you want to talk that you made a pizza, okay. But come on now, let's focus.
Rodney Pope says, I'm late. Did you sculpt a new Frankenstein?
I did not. This is actually the Trick or Treat Studios mask that I am repainting. Just like I repainted the Mummy and I repainted the Gill Man, I'm repainting Frankenstein. I grabbed orange instead of red, so now I'm just going with the red. Okay, so now you guys can see it looks kind of like there's a green light this way and a red light this way. And
Josh Newman?
the green light, I think, is also coming in here a little bit up underneath to get that neck. And let's give him his like original skin shade, which is just a little bit of green. That mist, I'm just misting, and I'm making him lean towards the green spectrum. I'm not making him green, I'm leaning him towards the green spectrum, because what he was a pretty pale white. Now I've got this yellow, and this yellow I'm going to actually set him on the table, so I want to shoot that straight down. This light comes from above. So I'm going to make it come from above with this airbrush.
Okay, you're going to need to change your... There you go. Lindsay and Michael Kyle say this is going to be a great paint job for the last night of color.
It's going to be a colorful paint job for the last night of color. That's folks show. I'm going to stay up, actually.
Bring it back up.
I'm going to come up a little bit, not a lot.
Ron Shep says, night 10 of color. Use all the colors. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for here.
It's a good finale.
You know what? I'm changing my mind. Because as I look at this, that blue goes up under the brow. So I have to get that up, shoot it up from underneath.
Rodney Pope says, is this yours or are you painting it for a customer?
It's mine. The problem is now I'm going to have a Basil GoGos painted Frankenstein, a regular painted mummy, and a regular painted creature from the Black Lagoon. But that's okay.
Hey, Career Pass.
Mario! I'm actually going to grab a chair because I need to get as low as possible.
I look at this style and I think this would be a great collector's mask, but I don't know that people would buy them to wear in a show, but they'd collect them.
Even shadows, I'm going to paint in. Okay. So I'm looking at my reference. My reference is a little weird on this one because he has this light hard on his eyelids, which are above, and he has it underneath and on these cheeks. I think there was a little bit of artistic license taken, and I have to kind of do the same thing.
Chad Smith says that color green looks great on it. Mike Chesnowski, if this was in a haunt, what color light would you put in it?
Honestly, white light or whatever color the scene is. One of the things, and that's a great question because we don't always consider what color the thing is going to be in that we're doing. So that's something that we actually have to get better at.
So is Basil GoGos the style it's called because of a certain artist or the era?
The artist's name is Basil GoGos. Like his name is Basil. And I think actually my reference isn't his, but it's someone who was influenced by him.
So, it's the artist who paints them.
Yes.
Lindsay Michael Kyle says, when I saw the thumbnail pick for tonight, I was hopeful. I love color.
Okay, so here's what's happened. I've messed up a little bit. All right, there's a yellow on there. It's not dry, and I put a blue on there. It's not dry. They have become a brilliant green.
Green! Oh my goodness!
So,
This is a good way to.
let's get ourselves a heat gun and dry this puppy up.
It's gonna dry it and then paint over it.
Now it's been very rainy here. It's been very rainy here. So we are having to fight a little bit of dampness,
Yes.
and things are not drying as fast as they normally should. It's also very muggy in the shop tonight.
It is. Yeah, when we have damp dogs.
The sounds may get a little bit weird, guys, because once again, I'm going with a heat gun, but I have to dry this up. And that green, it's just too dark. I'm going to have to make some repairs.
This is a great way for them to see how you fix it.
Yeah. I jumped the gun, and I went to blue before I should.
Blue because it was not dry.
Yes. Because they were wet, the blue and the yellow made green.
Scott Creighton, hello. Says, with every color, something new pops on the mats. That's really awesome. Ron Ship says, how fast does the ink usually dry?
Pretty fast. It's alcohol based, so it evaporates very quickly.
Badaza said, I have that problem like all the time.
Also, the ink tends to look a little glossy, so. And I gotta knock this back down. I'm gonna go with this white paint again.
Riot Demon.
The Riot Demon.
Riot Demon says, Alan, your Patreon video about the mural was awesome. Are you going to show more of that?
Yep. Yeah, you guys will see that one probably all the way through. That's my project for the next few days. I was kind of telling folks that we are going to end up doing a lot more videos from Dark Hour, simply because I can, and I don't have any more time for edited videos. But I will have time to do live videos for Dark Hour on this kind of stuff, and photos and talk throughs.
Bonnie Pope says, yes, I love that also.
I love painting big haunt murals like that. I love it. So that just toned it down, brought it right back down.
It did, but it also dried it so that you can cover it.
Yes, now I can hit it again.
Digital Nucleus, how you
Hello.
doing? Digital Nucleus attended our airbrush lab and Promise lab back
Honey.
in November.
I'm going to say that you are amazing for remembering all this. Half of the people on here, they have a YouTube name, they have a real name, they have a Facebook name, and they have a business name. And I am not great at that.
Well,
I'm not as good as I want to be.
That's the advantage of doing the unsexy work. That's one perk. Otherwise, the unsexy work, it's not fun.
It's the perk.
Digital Nucleus says, Frank is like, dude, don't be messing up my hair. I joined late, but I'm ready to learn stuff so I can make stuff. It is so good to see you.
Good to see you on.
Hope you are doing well. John C. says, this mask was sculpted by Justin Mabry at Trick or Treat Studios.
Yes, it was.
Justin was honored at Latex Mask Central's top Halloween mask maker.
I don't know if that.
So,
You said Latex Mask Centrals?
top Halloween mask maker.
I'm an admin on that group. I remember that. Justin's awesome, and he does amazing work. I really like the guy. You might even say we're buddies.
David Carter says, hello, Alan from the UK.
Hello, David Carter.
Cat Swift says, in the Dark Hour video, I love when Alan told it was 2 minutes till lunch, and his reply, we can get a bunch done in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
David Carter says, hope you're all well.
So far, unless you know something I don't. I've got black in here now. I don't want that on the blue. So I'm spraying this black out. I'll be right back. Wife, entertain the troops.
Story time.
Yeah, I would go to phone cam. Look, phone cam. It's on you.
Okay. Story time. And then go to the phone. That worked? That worked. All right. So we've had flash flooding. We went from our winter storm to flash flooding. And we lost some power, and then we lost some internet, and now everything is back up, which is great. So today was spent packing orders. That's a lot of orders, and I'm so proud, thankful for it, but we actually had to do a lot of those today. So we're working on that, and if you have an order with us, I just first off want to say thank you for your patience. So unprecedented, nothing we had any idea was going to happen. The funny thing about this is it's right before the winter storm hit. The winter storm hit for us, late Saturday night, not this past Saturday, but the week before. And that morning, we got up and said, you know what, let's kick these orders out. We can go to the post office. And our post office here closes on Saturdays at noon. It's a hustle. It is not close. So we got up, we packed it, we grabbed the orders, and we ran. And the great thing about that is that we were able to get some orders out because we had no idea we were going to be grounded for over a week. So if you had an order with us, thank you so much for your patience on that, because, again, no idea. And we've got a lot of them who are going out on Monday and Tuesday. So thank you so much for doing that, because that was exciting. What?
Nothing but net.
All right, you're on, you
Delicious.
VIP.
Okay.
Damn goldfish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want some?
No.
All right. So now that's dry. And I'm going to go ahead and clean out this airbrush. This is my Pache H. It had black in it, so I want to get it nice and clean. So I'm going to put blue in it, because I think that this needs a little more control as far as where it goes than my other gun gives me.
The mural fully convinced me I need to learn to use an airbrush.
Well, we just used a paint sprayer. Like, that's a Harbor Freight $14 paint sprayer was featured in that video. So, which is a large airbrush. That's what the paint sprayers kind of are. Okay, now I should have room in here for the blue.
About airbrush, Digital Nucleus says there's a great class for that. Louis the Glam, hello. He says, what is that mask that is on the other table called? The white and blue. I think that's going to be...
No, I think they need this guy right over here.
Oh, I think you're right.
All right, so remember the crazy day that it was Wednesday, not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, I did that brush painting a mask video? Well, that was filmed in a 40-degree shop, and I got most of the way through this orc, and I did not realize that the camera had died. So then I had to start over, and that's why I did the clown mask the way that I did, because I lost like 45 minutes of footage. So that is a mask that I will finish eventually. All it really needs is a rub out.
Bubba does. Okay, so you use a compressor with it? I know nothing about compressors.
You do use an air compressor with it, just like an airbrush. Okay, looking. And again, I'm going to go a little different on this one. This one was very much a cheat. They cheated because if the direction is from above and from below. Visually, they can do that. I don't want a lot of separate tones of color in there. I want that blue to kind of all be the same value. And so far, that is, I like that the least. But, yeah, in all honesty, I wasn't a big fan of that on the original. What do you do? Because it just doesn't make as much mental sense to me. And I want it to make mental sense. So I'm going to make sure this is dry. I very much misted that. I'm pretty sure it's dry. Carrying that from one direction. Not the band. The actual direction. And all my hardness is going to come in with the airbrush. When I go back and do black.
Hey, Paul Bennett.
Hello, Paul Bennett. This is the orange that I mixed up. There's only a very little bit of orange in this.
Chad Smith. I joined Don Lanning's Patreon. He did a video on how he fulfilled these masks. It was a different take. And that was kind of interesting.
Cool. I'm a big fan of different takes.
I see monsters. Hello. Dark Nook. Is this the colorized Ted Turner movie version of Frankenstein, or did Frankie go to a red?
This is a Basil GoGos version. Basil GoGos being a artist who did almost all the covers of famous Monsters of Filmland magazine back in the 60s and 70s. Then there's an honest green that hits from this side.
John C. What does the hair look like? Is it like the faux fur for the rabbit?
Yes, that's what this hair is. I didn't make this mask, remember. This is a mask by Trick or Treat Studios.
Dark Nook says, famous monsters version.
Yes.
Baba Daza, we did have flash flooding, and we are still very much flooded, and more rain is coming, so yeah, there'll be more. But we are high enough that we'll be okay. Our roads will be flooded, but we'll be okay. Cat Swift, Cat's talking to the phone. Never mind. Alicia F says, it's so funny watching you use the heat gun with no sound.
Yeah, that's the microphone trying to protect you.
Chanco City, that's a really cool mask.
I want to make a note on Chanco City. I know you know what I'm going to say.
I do. And he said that's
He-
a really cool name.
He likes to say weird stuff
I got you.
sometimes,
You're gonna pass it by.
and don't waste people's time reading it. You know, if it's an honest question or he wants to interact in a social way like people do, that's great. It's good to have you, Chonkos. Okay. Now I'm wondering if I'm ready for line work, but I think I want to hit this with a little bit more white from above, and then hit it with the yellow from above again. Because my yellow it's the weakest of the colors, so it's having to fight everything else. So if I do a little bit of white from the yellow's direction, I can hit it with yellow again.
Robert, I just said that was so good.
See how that picked this up? It looks like there's a hard light shining down on it, even when I take away the hard light that's shining down on it. Painting light, huge. We can learn how to do that, man. We're going to get good at this.
Jessica said, I watched How to Make a Monster a couple of weeks ago, a fun movie, but I have a question. In your opinion, why did it go from black and white to color when he took the actors to his house or dungeon?
I haven't seen that movie. I don't know. I'm sorry. Probably because color was expensive back then, and they only wanted to use a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to hit that yellow again, and that should pop a little more in those places. Nice. Got me. And my blue hasn't gone green. My blue hasn't gone green under my eyes, which is what I was worried about. Looking at my reference, I got to pull that yellow over to the side and go on top of that red. Same is true over here. I got to bring it down this edge. Okay. Look at the interplay that's happening now when you look at this guy straight on. Look at that cheek. I've got the yellow highlight from above. The blue highlight is kind of coming in from underneath. And then you still see that red mist hitting from this direction. Now I'm going to hit that red just a little harder after I get this all the way dry. So Boris Karloff's makeup in Frankenstein was applied every day. There wasn't a mold that he put a foam latex piece in. He built it up with cotton and latex every day. So if you look up here on the forehead, see all this creases and wrinkles? That was the hard blending edge of Boris Karloff's head. Boris Karloff's real forehead was about here. And then this is where the makeup blended in, and this is where the headpiece blended in. So what a great sculpt by Justin to include all those things. And the paint job on this was actually good. I liked it. Mass-produced paint jobs, I like touching them up. But this was actually a pretty good paint job when I got it. So I wasn't upset with the paint job. I just wanted to do a Basil GoGos version. I'm going to go with my red again. Get that red from this side. I got the slightest pickup of red over here on the chin and on the lip and on the nasal labial fold. Just the littlest bit, and that's what I wanted. I'm going to go a little heavier. That's it, because that's happening in the image, and I can see that happen. I think I feel good about the color now. And if I feel good about the color, I bled in quite a bit here with yellow, so I'm going to hit it with a dryer, and then I'll do blue again.
Massive difference when you soften the hard blue line under the cheek and nose. Massive difference when you soften the hard blue line under the cheek and nose.
Yes, because that's a shadow, and I'm going to do that with the airbrush.
Very harsh light on the. See how this is looking. So it's it'll look different if we.
Oh yeah.
Light, but you see how it's very different. With young Bluff, hello. The paint is really making him 3D. I love it.
When I did zombies this way for Dark Hour, we actually put a mixture on their face. We stippled on something called zombie skin, which is a thickened latex, and that added texture, and that texture caught all the spray paint from different angles, the airbrush paint.
You just got 100 Patreon.
We just reached 100 Patreons. We deserve a Beastman fist bump, don't you think, wife? Wow! That was a double fist bump.
I was just explaining to Chad Smith. He's saying if you watched the movie because you had the poster in your shop.
Oh.
And I was like, I bought that poster for him years
did.
ago.
I saw it, but it was a long time ago.
Are these paints or inks?
These are inks. These are inks. These are Pinata alcohol-based inks.
Can I use a heat gun to glue Kevlar together?
No. I would use contact cement. I don't know. Kevlar being a fabric and a synthetic, I think it would probably shrink up under the heat gun.
So 100 Patreons. Stacy Hawkins, thank you.
Okay, so now that I got that dry again, I'm going to cheat too, because I'm going to put a little bit of white paint down, but I'm going to do it with a brush.
What happens when we get 100? We start doing a giveaway.
We're gonna give away probably a mask, I think is what it is.
We got stuff to give away.
What's Oz bought us, honey? I'm wandering. That's what I do.
Getting lots of congratulations.
Overwhelming support, and that obviously that makes me happy. I have a lot of plans, and eventually I'm going to put down one of the things that I want to get with Patreon. This sounds a little bit silly. I want to get a good printer for the shop because I have to print out reference images and things. And if I just have a good printer here, when someone comes for Monster Camp, they can bring their digital files and we can print them out. Or, there's just so many reasons to have a good printer that I don't have right now. And printer technology, I feel like it's just so far behind every other aspect of home computing. I have huge issues with my printers at work. Now, granted, I'm not the most tech-savvy guy in the world, but I feel like printers are hard. I have a little piece of sponge. Getting off most kind of dry, sponging. There we go.
Lots of very sweet congrats. Very kind.
There's things that I want to do. There is, in the 30-some years that I've been doing this, I've kind of taken it upon myself to be the R&D department of haunted attractions. And I don't keep that info to myself. I give that to haunted attractions all over the country so they can be better. And that has turned into home haunters. That has turned into just enthusiasts and makers and other mask makers. And well, let's put it simply, more money means more R&D that I can do. More things that I can learn and I can figure out. Research and development. So that I can buy new materials and say, hey, this works for what we do. This doesn't work for what we do, you know? So I put that in with the sponge, that white, and I'm going to let that dry with the heat gun, and then I'll airbrush the blue back over.
You ever use a 3D printer for dark hour stuff?
No, I haven't. Again, on my list, there's a 3D printer that I'm talking with a company about getting a sponsorship and getting that printer from them. I was talking with them kind of before the apocalypse hit, so it's possible that I will have a half price or maybe free 3D printer, a resin printer, because I have a lot of plans for things that I think I can do with it. But if you don't have the tool, then you don't think in terms of that tool. Now that I have a laser cutter, I think in terms of laser cutter. We all know a big laser cutter is on my list because there's bigger projects I want to do than my little laser cutter will let me do.
Right, even says, I hope the sponsorships continue.
Well, you know what? Patreon is a sponsorship. It's a private sponsorship. As long as I can keep doing something that you guys perceive as valuable, hooray.
Yes. Oh, Car Beauty. It says, yay for color. What is the idea with Frank? Hello, everyone.
Basil GoGos, a Basil GoGos inspired Frankenstein paint job.
Smith, Alan, I could use a little inspiration. I feel like I have fallen into a bit of a funk of making stuff. I took a small break time and have had a hard time getting back in the past couple of days.
Well, so obviously you're doing something aside from making stuff. Is what you're doing sending you towards your goal? Everybody should have a goal. And it doesn't matter what that goal is, but that goal should be quantifiable. You can't have be a better person as a goal because that is such a sliding scale. It doesn't make a good goal. Have something that's measurable as your goal, and then every moment you can work towards that goal. And it's not just about writing down the goal. Every time you make your list of goals, go in and next to that goal, write down the next action you can take to make that goal happen. Is, you want to move to Russia. Okay, that's your goal. I want to move to Russia in 6 months. So your next action maybe is calling the United States Embassy in Russia and asking some questions. Maybe that's your next goal. Write that down. And then when you feel you're doing nothing, when you are doom scrolling and doing nothing but pissing yourself off by scrolling on Facebook, stop it, pull out your list, and do a next action instead. Because even if it's 3 a.m. here, it's probably a decent time in Russia. Call them.
Darkness. I thought about doing custom prosthetics using 3D printers to print live casts from digital scans instead of having to do the full head molding process.
Yeah, just doing a snap scan. One of the things that me and Stan have been looking into is getting a scanner and having a booth at Transworld where you can go in, you pay the money, we scan your head, it becomes a digital file, and then we get a 3D printer big enough to 3D print a head bust for you. Because one of the big issues people have is not having a head cast of themselves. And it's just getting it to the point where I have the money to buy the equipment, and then that's a service that we can offer. You know what I mean?
Brad Demon said, I meant company sponsoring. It's awesome. I don't like sponsoring videos, but you can get some awesome equipment out of it.
That's the hope.
Babadaza says, that resonates with me when you said that on Patreon about thinking laser cutting spots now that you've started to use one.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
It does look a little psychedelic. That's okay.
Lindsay and Michael Kyle says, how do you keep the pups so clean? Anytime they go down to Texas, Stewie has to get baths constantly. These dogs
Honey,
are not clean.
hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead to tripod cam.
Here we go.
Because our lovely girl Bella
Look at her.
is laying here.
She is
For
not
the record,
These
she's
dogs
not a
are
gray dog.
filthy.
Like, this is all just mud because she's been playing out in the wet. And
I have covers on everything.
she is whooped and tired and dirty. Boris stays pretty clean. He's a little on the pris side.
They have been ripping and roaring
Yep.
for hours, and now they are hammered. Jennifer Pugh says, doom scrolling. That's a good name for it.
Oh, all you do is you scroll and you piss yourself off. Why are you doing that?
Scott Creighton, I love the head bust idea. Good thinking. Cat Swift says, I was super stuck. My kids were starting to save for a New Zealand honeymoon. Made a full hobbit house for them to inspire savings. It was like a dam burst in my mind.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of a project that feeds a goal. That's cool.
$95 people are watching.
95 people. I'm going to assume most of them are human. Cool. Hello, fellow humans. Just running the blue out. I gotta put black in. But I don't want just black. I want to really thin the black down so it's a shadowy color. Normally black is a beat up color. It'll beat up any other color that's in the airbrush. So I don't have to clean it too much. But now I'm going to thin it out. I want like a nice shadow gray.
Kind of looks like Native American war.
I suppose that's possible.
Okay. Dark Nook. One issue I ran into was having folks who wanted to buy some prosthetics who were doing their projects, movies or whatever, off somewhere else across the country. So we had to mail life casts. 3 of them broke.
Yeah, that'll do it. Life casts, I mean, anything plaster is really hard to mail.
Chad Smith says, I don't scroll too much on social media. I get bored. My thing lately is if I'm sitting on the couch, I feel guilty that I'm not working on something. So then I start working on something. I start working, no real downtime.
Good, great. That's what you want. But part of that working should be make stuff. One of the things that I do when I'm sitting in my chair, I'm still working. Either I'm learning about a new process on YouTube, or I'm researching new materials, or I am planning my trade show booth. Because here's what most people don't do for trade shows, and I should have said this when I gave you a bunch of advice you didn't ask for about MHC, but I didn't. I should have said, think about your display. How are you going to show the product you made? because a lot of people don't think about that, and it really shows. And then either the booth isn't inviting, it's closed off, or you can't see all the product at one time, or the coolest thing that you brought is on the floor because you didn't bring a way to have it raised up and catch visual interest and pull people into your booth. I try to have something that's real big and impressive that no one can afford, but it pulls people into the booth, and then they buy something that's maybe $100 instead of the $800 thing that I made just to bring them over. Because I want that to catch them 3 aisles away and say, "What's that?" and then go get it or go to it. Sometimes it backfires, and I've got to make 5 of those. Not a bad problem either.
Scott Creighton says it reminds me of a Billy Squire album cover. Chad Smith says, yeah, I have thought about my display and I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to let that alcohol ink sit there with that alcohol so it'll blend out better. It's actually a lie. I'm just going to take a little bit of time so I can eat some goldfish. Wife, would you like a cheddar goldfish?
No, I'm good. Or Beauty says that would be a very cool and helpful way, quicker than a live casting.
Mm-hmm.
Cat Swift says, Chad, set up a dummy booth. You want different heights, different areas, something that draws them in. Leave it set up every day and look at it. Celebration. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for your generous Patreon. All right, David. Is this going to be a display piece for yourself?
What's that now?
Is this going to be a display piece for yourself?
Kind of. Yes.
If Annabelle is a dark hour getting updates this season as well.
Yes, but not as many as Dark Hour itself.
June Ritchie, I'm late getting to the party. Congratulations on the 100 Patreons, and I have to say I really appreciate how you concentrate on marketing.
I concentrate on marketing? What do you mean by that? Marketing is huge as far as haunted houses go, but
Ron Savini told me a story about Creepshow. The reason they ended up doing that awesome shotgun blast in the space fungus pit was that Stephen King could not sit for a live cast because he was claustrophobic.
Interesting.
June Ritchie says getting attention at the show, for example.
Well, yeah, I mean, marketing in the sense that people need that. And I have a less strong black in the airbrush And that's so I can go over it a couple times to build it up to where I want it, as opposed to one shot, it's black as night, and I have no other options.
Looks very cool. I like the way the blue comes out.
Blue took some work, I ain't gonna lie.
Integration, it almost looks like Frank is rocking an 80s hairband. No, never mind. That's too awful to even think about. Realm says, I'm looking at pictures of mausoleums and cemeteries and drawing out ideas for the mausoleum so I can have some ideas. Thinking big and wanting to make a stained glass window on top of it.
Okay. I built a couple of those. Don't be afraid of Pinterest. If you don't have Pinterest boards, start some Pinterest boards, okay?
Cat Smith, the reason I don't know what I'm going to do in MHC is mostly because I don't know what I can do. I'm planning on doing the table options to save money.
Okay.
Cat Smith says, Alan doesn't even realize all the tips and tricks he tells us about marketing side of it. Lessons just flow.
Well, we're kind of here to talk, and I like to talk on.
Oh, Mimi, hello.
This is on the painting. It's not on the skull. So I have to kind of put all these in. And I did my 3 dots of where this goes first, so I didn't get carried away and just keep going. Now I have a point where I go from and to.
Good night, Scott. Great.
Good night, Scott. Thanks for joining us. Now I have no idea of exactly what that is, but it's in there. So I did it. I'm trusting my source.
Is this mask going to be for sale?
I don't know yet. It may be. I'm actually leaning towards that simply because the others that I've done for myself, I have done in the normal style, not in the Basil GoGos style.
Hey, Blade Effect Makeup.
Hey, Blotty. I see going in and doing these little lines that those, actually they're not sculpted in. So I'm kind of blending the 2D painting with the sculpture as much as I can.
Hello, Ike Camacho.
Hi.
Said, hi everyone, I finally got my Ultra Cal 30 in and attempted to make a plaster book for the first time. Holy smokes, Ultra Cal 30 will sneak up on you and harden up really quick. Great one.
It will. We had that happen to us last Wednesday.
Smith says, I know you normally get a booth or two. Do you know what I can get away with building and display-wise with the table option? It doesn't say on the contract just what I can get from them, what I can get from for a table.
No, I mean, but you can do a back wall as high as you want. So if you do a back wall on your area, you can do a back wall. I mean, I don't know where you're at, and I've never done a table.
No,
I want to make sure that I bring enough stuff where I'm going to make my money. I don't know that I can bring enough product on top of a table to really profit.
Dr. Art says, Alan, the paint is looking great, and that is a really good sculpt.
This is not my sculpture. This is Justin Mabry of Trick or Treat Studios and Mabry Effects. Here I'm just doing some general darkening. I'm feeling pretty good about this side of the face.
Buddy just popped on to say, Rel, watch out for those resort buses. It continues. Anthony Pantano. Hello.
Yoo!
Jennifer Pugh, I was looking at the floor plan with France World. I'm going to make a beeline for your booth first.
Come see me. Okay, so I feel good about this side of the face.
Chad says, sorry to ask so many questions off topic of the video, but I'm going blind on this thing, trying to grab what I can info-wise.
Well, hit me up, man. I'm not scared. You're not. This is on topic. Not starving while making monsters is a part of the make monsters conversation in my book.
Chonko says, wow, that's so sick.
Thanks, Chonkos.
Oh, that's so yummy. Love that. That's just me. Isaac says, I've never seen this version of Frankie.
This is from an artist named Basil GoGos. I'm copying a two-dimensional paint style. This almost has a sofubi feel, but it is not. Just some of these little pops that I'm doing are just to imply texture that isn't in the sculpture, but that might get picked up by light, such fine texture. And see how the black is going over and it's marrying these colors together. It's making this more homogeneous, and it's kind of beating them up and making them all behave. They're all being friends now.
Have you ever done a comic book style painting of a mask?
Yes. I do a lot of stuff, so I have the advantage that I've been able to do a lot of things, you know.
Bloody Effects Makeup. I wish I could attend Transworld, but I'm stuck in California.
You know, they have airplanes, they have cars, they have buses, and they have trains. You're not stuck in California. You choose to stay safe in California instead of risk the risky city of St. Louis.
Stuck via COVID.
Yeah, California is a little harsher about letting you out and back in.
We have family in California. I love him. Love him. You love him. That red spot's my favorite. You done gonna take the tape off?
Mm-hmm.
Stone Farmer, hello.
Hey,
In
Stone
here
Farmer.
in California, everything is stuck. Riot Demon says, "What a supportive wife." I love this. Yeah, thank you. It's just, hey Susan. It's unique. I think because you don't associate Frankenstein with color.
Yeah, not like this, for
Bright,
sure.
vibrant colors. And to see him with this type of vibrancy, just, I love it. Hey, Dan McCorson.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, August. Your paint job is amazing. Susan McKay said he looks awesome. What do you think? You plan on repainting his knobs once you're done?
Yes, I'm gonna hit them with some chrome. Repainting his knobs could be a euphemism. I feel like I'm pretty close. Like I'm almost there.
Hey, hello, Seth Ashley.
Hey, Seth. So I think I just became Facebook friends with Seth Ashley, I think. I want to say something, okay? I hover right around 5,000 or so Facebook friends. if you have sent me a friend request and I haven't responded, it's not because I'm avoiding you. It's just because I haven't. I try to. I friend about 5 or 6 people a night because Facebook drops off 4 people every day. Right at like midnight, they drop off 4 people of my friends list who I haven't interacted with. That is a Facebook Max feature, which I don't mind. If you want to stay Facebook friends, and we are Facebook friends, just comment every now and then, and that will keep you from getting dropped off. But yeah, I'm not avoiding anybody. I don't dislike anybody. Well, there are people I dislike, but in this particular case, okay, I want to address the corner of this mouth a little bit. Let's grab us some chrome. My favorite way to do chrome is chrome or silver spray paint. I spray it on the table, then I paint it on.
Seth Ashley says, no, I don't have a Facebook. I have an Instagram. I
Oh.
started following your personal page and still be space. So maybe
Yeah.
follow me back on Instagram.
That's what it was, Instagram. They're kind of the same now. Except Instagram is better at not making you sad.
Lindsay and Michael Powell say, he's looking so good, Alan.
Awesome, thank you. You know what? Why don't we give this away on Patreon for the 100th subscriber? What do you think, White?
That's a great idea.
Does that sound good?
Let me get some pictures of him first. I'll definitely be photographing him for the gallery because.
So, folks on Patreon, you have a 1 in 100 chance. You have a 1% chance. That's better than Lotto of winning this mask.
That's a great idea. Jennifer Pugh, are you going to do something to his hair if there's overspray in it?
I taped up the hair pretty good, so there shouldn't be much overspray. But it's possible.
Great House Haunts.
If I have to fix it, I'll fix it.
What are you doing, Great House? It's like Patreon, yes! Any advice on painting metallic? I have a 3D printed Oni Menpo that I am thinking of painting to look like metal.
Honestly, spray paint is the best way to go. As far as, unless you get into something real expensive, spray paint is the way to go. So I chromed up this staple. I chromed up these 2 bolts. Frankenstein has 2 other staples over here and another one over here in the painting, and some versions of Frankenstein have multiple staples. But I think that's him.
Love it.
You know what? Actually, I saw something. Oh, one of the shadow up under his nose with the air. Because he's got a shadow that I did not. I want to paint the shadows, so I need to get it under his nose.
That actually says, Alan, if you saw me covering metal songs on my page playing guitar, then that was me. I always enjoy watching your content.
Hooray!
Are you going to gloss it?
I don't know. The ink itself dries a little glossy, so I've got some gloss on him already. I want to hit his eyes a little whiter.
Jennifer says he's beautiful.
Thank you. I like how he has turned out.
All
I
right.
think he's pretty close to my reference.
Patreon.
Yeah, that's where he's going to go. I think that's a good giveaway. and we're gonna go crazy, and because we have some patrons in Australia and some in Germany. So if they win, we're just gonna mail
We're
it.
just gonna mail it.
We're just gonna eat it, and we're gonna mail it.
Jennifer Pugh.
What?
That girl. She likes his knobs. Bloody effects. He reminds me of Halloween Horror Nights. They used some TOTSs and Immortal to bring him to life in 2019.
Yes.
To love. Brightening up his eye.
Mm-hmm. Bringing these eyes up and blue. Eyes are going to reflect the color around them.
Jamel Robinson, hello. Says that is amazing.
Thanks.
Stacy says, when should we do the drawing? She's ready.
Let's announce it and give some folks a chance to join, perhaps. And let's do the drawing like, what, 10 days from now? What's today's date?
27.
27th? Well, how do we feel about like March 10th or something like that? But make it a day, too, that we're going to be at the shop.
London says, if I win, I'll need it signed.
Yeah, I'll sign it. But I have to sign it with the caveat that Justin Mabry was the sculptor. I'll just say paint by Alan Hobbs Filthy Studios.
Is it a mask or a head?
It's a mask. It's a mask.
How
I had
much
it on the other day, scaring my dogs.
How much is the mask?
Well, this is a Trick or Treat Studios mask, and I think they're like $80. But I did the paint job on it. It doesn't come with this paint job. So this is, because tonight is about the paint job, I did a lot of paints in 10 Nights of Color that weren't necessarily my work.
How do Patreon giveaways work? I'm new.
So everybody on Patreon, Stacy puts them in a Word document, and that's numbered. So there's numbers. And then she uses a random number generator to pick the person, and then that number that corresponds, it's random. The number that corresponds is the one who won. What do you think of that, wife?
Love it.
I'm going to get a little bit of a blood and put in here. Not garish blood, but it does deserve a little bit of El Goro. You know what? I got a red wax. This might be good. Look, the red wax.
Yeah, he's not ours to sell, guys. This is.
Now, I have a
not
Frankenstein mask that I have done that I could paint this way. We have a Frankenstein that I could paint this way. But this mask right here is not a mask that I sculpted. Now, if you want to buy a Trick or Treat Studios mask and mail it to me, I'd probably charge something like $75 for the paint job. I have done that for a couple people with other masks. That is just the right amount, I think. Now this side is red, so you're not going to see a lot of difference. All right, let's take some tape off of this. And Jennifer Pugh had a good point about overspray, but I put his hair up like this so that any overspray would be hidden when I folded the hair back down. So what was exposed was the underside of the hair.
Do you like sculpting or painting better?
Sculpting. but I need to paint more because I'm a better sculptor than I am a painter. I'm not a great painter. I always do my Frank hair down right here, because that's what I remember. Grab a brush and brush this out a little bit. About it, Frank? I grabbed some. Oh, this is my first time seeing him like far away. He looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Except one thing that I saw from far away that I don't like. Let's go to Pip. My brow is a lot harder than their brow. I'm just going to knock that a little bit back to black.
Okay. Ted Smith says, I don't know how to spell it, but was Basil GoGos? But what's his thought process behind his paint jobs? Was he just high?
Probably, yes. Yeah, I got to meet him as a kooky old man at Chiller Theater Horror Convention. And he was very nice. He sat and talked with me for a long time. Just a very nice guy. That was one of my favorite tables I've ever sat at. It was me, Basil GoGos, and Forey Ackerman, and Ray Harryhausen stopped by for a little bit. It was an old man table and a very young Alan at the show.
Stone Farmer. It's the paint job from a movie. I've seen that somewhere before.
It's not from a movie. It is an artist named Basil GoGos. BASILGOGOS.
June Ritchie says, looks great. Celebration says, respectfully, Alan, I would disagree with your assessment of painting skill. You're quite the painter. Choco City, are you going to take the hair off?
No. No, I'm not. I'm just going to style it.
Chad says, wow, did you get a pic of that table guest list?
Well, it was Chiller Theater Horror Convention used to take place in New Jersey. I think it still happens, but I haven't been to one since I think '96. Yeah, I gotta cut this hair. I haven't been to one since '96, and they draw in some really good guests, and it was a stacked table. Like the next year, I got to hang out with Gunnar Hansen, and he played the piano, and we hung out at the bar. It was just a good time, like really late at night, and just these people who really appreciate monsters, and that was just very nice.
Hello, Angie Rogers. Steve Hayes would be very proud of you.
Well, I'm trying.
Big Monkey Fez, hello. Says, looked up famous monsters in Filmland. GoGos painted almost all of their covers. The paint job is in that style.
Yes, and it's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It adds so much more life to the classic monsters, seeing them in this rich color.
Gunnar Hansen, is that the guy that played Leatherface?
It was. He played the original Leatherface. When you're cutting hair around, I want these ears to show because Justin did a good job sculpting them, and I feel like I did a good job painting them. If I didn't think my paint job was any good on them, then I would leave this hair long like this. But because I feel like it was okay, I'm going to cut up into this hair this way. The hair's coming down, and I'm cutting up into it, and that allows me to thin it without making it look like it was just cut and chopped off with scissors. Hair work will make or break a mask, guys. Like, big time. I know some guys who have some decent sculpts, but if they can't hair their work, then it's not going to sell. Because the hair's not there.
Mantra says, small world. I've been to Chiller back in the day when I lived in New York.
Oh, it was a wonderful show. I went there every year from like 92, I think, until like 97. Last time I went, I was a big Yeti for the costume contest. Every year I was there, I placed in the costume contest.
Stone Farmer says, just looked it up and flashbacks to my early childhood with the paintings.
Yeah.
Big Monkey Faz. GoGos painted as if multiple colored lights were illuminating the subject, hence the various colors.
Yes. I have some real nice coffee table books of his that my wife got me for Christmas a few years back.
Stone Farmer says it looks like he's dancing.
What? Nothing wrong with that. I'm sure your dad's a very fashionable man. And here, I did get a little bit of overspray, but I got it thin anyway. I'm just going to choose to thin that area a little harder than others. Don't make your life harder than it needs to be. We are really good at making our lives harder than it needs to be. That's a habit you should get out of. In all honesty, the whole world is already against you. You do not have to kick yourself in the nuts.
The other ear?
I'm getting this one now.
This mask looks like it has lots of energy, like a kid.
Yeah, one good paint can do that. Good paint can give it an expression. Good paint can give it a feeling. What's going on for fireworks right now? It's okay, Boris. Like, she's out hardcore, so she's not nervous. Fireworks and storms, our girl fella does not like it.
You were on the couch.
Yes.
109 people are watching. It was 9 o'clock.
Okay, I think
I love him.
that's my Frank.
I love him. Ah, he's beautiful. You know, he's making this hard to give these away.
Well, and I'll order another one from Trick or Treat for myself that I will repaint in the style, the normal style, like I did the Mummy. And I'm going to redo the Wolfman too. I have a Wolfman here. He needs some work.
Hey, Tina. Tina said, would you do a Gilman the way Basil GoGos painted the creature?
I could do that, sure.
Chad says, I know you don't like aliens, but did you see the paint job I landed on my alien mask?
I did. I think that the paint job helped your alien mask. I think it made it better overall.
Greenhouse says, that was great. Al Matra says, the paint work is making me think I need to get some blanks and filthy paint to try to match my painting style on the mask. 30 Cents says, great job. Realm says, love it.
Thank you. So this is it. Here he is. This is the Basil GoGos Frankenstein. Justin Mulberry from Trick or Treat Studios Sculpture. Trick or Treat sells this mask. I'll have to order another one.
And she's going to give it away.
And we're going to give this away on Patreon. I don't know, maybe this week, next week.
I'll get some pictures of him.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I'm proud of that. All right. So, wife, why don't you go to phone cam? Wife, you want to say goodnight to everybody?
Good night.
Thank you guys so much for watching tonight and hanging out with us. I don't know why. I feel like I fought to get to tonight. Because this is a very delayed 10 nights of color, 10th night. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Take care of yourselves. Right now the world is nuts. Take some time. To be nice. What will empower you the most in the world is having control over your attitude. And we have no idea how much what we put out comes back to us. So maybe make an extra effort to be a little nicer. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go make stuff.